I'm back. Tonight it's a cup of tea and a Tim Tam biscuit. My trusty sidekick who's just going to sit beside me and probably snore. But we are doing another round of folding washing. I look a bit disheveled because I've just put my kids to bed, and would you believe they were sound asleep. Excuse me. I've got this nasty tickle in my throat still, but I'm better. The kids were sound asleep at 10 to 7. It was a little bit intense for about 20 minutes with lots of emotions, tired emotions, but sound asleep. And I can say it's a lovely feeling as a parent who has children up at 5 a.m. I swear, as soon as spring hits, my kids just go bam in the morning at 5 o'clock, and they are up, they are ready to party. They are not slow morning people, they are up, let's go for a bike ride at 10 past 5 kind of children, which I think will be helpful when little man starts school next year, because he'll be like up, ready to go. But the downside of that, and I think it'd be the same for any adult or child, 3 o'clock comes, 4 o'clock comes, and it can be quite a disastrous afternoon between that time and bed. They're tired, but they're hungry, but they're not hungry, but they're actually more tired. Can't vocalize it because they're too tired. They're frustrated because they're tired, and the sister then annoys him because she knows he's tired, and she's kind of tired too because she refuses to nap because he's up all day, and she gets up at 5 o'clock as well, and it just becomes a very interesting afternoon. So if you think it's lovely having children going to bed at 10 to 7, please rest assured they're up at 5 a.m. So our days are pretty long, and going to bed at 6:30, quarter to 7, it's almost a must. My kids are literally falling asleep while we are having like our wind down time sort of thing. So I don't know how my son's going to go next year when school starts and it's 5 days a week. I forgot my baskets today. They're all upstairs because I had a big clean out the other day. And I've got all of the stuff stored in the baskets. So I'm just going to have to fold it and put it into my piles again. But did I say why I look a bit disheveled? I was lying in the bed with the kids reading a book and giving them cuddles, calming them down before bedtime. And my job tonight, my task tonight was to do the folding because not out of underwear this time, but I'm getting a bit low, so I'm trying to stay on top of it. I think the last time I done one of these videos, I think I had too much washing. It was like, I'm going to film a chit chat with you guys, I'll do a bit more washing. I'm a bit too tired tonight, and then we just started literally diving into the clean washing pile every morning to fish out our clothes and towels, and I was like, okay, won't do that again. So tonight was definitely the I have to do washing tonight kind of a scenario, which is good because I'm actually out of tea towels here. So by doing the washing tonight, I'm actually like bang on target where I need to be with things. But so I always start off my chit chat videos with seeing how everyone is, and believe it or not, I actually read all your comments. I do my very best to reply to them all. Sometimes I miss them, but I read all the comments that come through. And I love hearing updates on how people are going in regards to being out of lockdown and you're out doing things, or you've had some sad family news and you're sharing it with me, and I send all my thoughts to you guys that might be going through something, or I've had things around, oh, I felt the exact same way. That's just my kids' monitor going flat. So trust me, I do read your comments, and I genuinely want to know, how are you? I hope everyone who is coming out of the lockdowns are good. I've spoken to a few friends that are living in those areas that were affected, and they're finding that they're actually quite anxious. There's still cases, people who are vaccinated are still getting sick and hospitalised. I'm not going to go into the politics of vaccinated versus unvaccinated. To be honest, I'm pro-choice. I mean, we all get to make decisions in our lives. If you make a decision that suits you, then that's what it is. That's all I'm going to say with that one. So yeah, my girlfriend down south was definitely feeling a little bit anxious about maybe what lies ahead. I think it's more of that unknown. I think when you're in lockdown, and we went through a few, nowhere near as long as what our southern states went through. We went through a couple, and it's like, excuse me, ours was more the unknown on how long the lockdowns were going to be, but it was more just, okay, well, this is it, this is what we're doing. When you come out, it's a bit sort of, is it safe kind of a thing? I guess I'm trying to get my point across that. Yeah, is it safe? Is it okay? It's different. People are a bit more hesitant. It's the unknown. If they get cases, do we get back into a lockdown? But anyway, getting too negative. But I would love to know how you're going. How has your week been? What have you been up to? I have been busy spending most of my evenings going through Marketplace. Excuse me, I have this nasty tickle in my throat. I just can't get rid of it. I feel fine. But I think the last time we spoke, I gave you an update on the house. On Sunday, we pick up these beautiful windows, and I think I'm actually going to do maybe like a bit of an afternoon vlog and just sort of share it with you. They're going to be an absolute nightmare to get them out of the location they're in to here. We've hired a removals company to actually help us do it, because where they're located is not ideal. This guy renovated his house. He started renovating his house, took these windows out, and I was like, I'll take them. And then he said that they were all good to go, went around to inspect them. And his builder, which I find a bit strange, but anyway, it's happened. His builder put new framework up. So they took out this massive window and they're closing it in. And I think they're putting in like a door. And the builder came out and framed it. I'm like, how am I going to get the windows out? He's like, you'll have to go like down here and then down a meter drop, take it around the back to the driveway, down the driveway. It's a full construction site because they're renovating. And then you can load it onto your truck. I was like, great. So I found a removals company, explained it all in detail to them, was able to send them a couple of photos, and he reckons he can still do it. So that will be interesting. We're going to go along and watch the process take place just to make sure it's all good. I definitely checked that the company had their public liability and they do, so any damage we're covered. So that's where we're up to there. So I'm keen to share that with you all. And apart from that, my cat's just jumped into one of my baskets. I've just been busy on Pinterest and looking up designs and plans and trying to get costings. My parents run an electrical company. My dad's an electrician. And are you right over there, Binks? And he was telling me the prices of like drum cables and light switches. They've gone from like, I think he was saying he could get them, I think he's just, yep, he's gone to sleep in the washing. Judge away, we have pets, this is what it is. He was saying that he could get, for example, a light switch for $5. They've now gone up to 12. So I'm a bit scared on what our build's actually going to end up being when we do our final reno. And some things will get more delayed now due to costings and that sort of thing. So I'm trying really, really hard to buy things secondhand on Marketplace from a cost point of view to get the costs down. And also, I mean, there's no need to buy brand new when you can buy secondhand and just refurbish it yourself if you've got the time and the patience to do so. I do. Time, kind of, patience, yeah, and mix it together and I can make it work. But now, last time I had this chit chat, I said that we were going to talk about some things that you didn't know about me, and I want to do it in today's one because I don't have a lot of washing. And look, it's not a big story, and maybe it's not a very exciting story, but I'm going to share it with you guys anyway. Excuse me, I just can't shake this cough. I actually had a coffee before, and maybe it was too like early this afternoon. And I think I've just got like too much phlegm sitting in my throat now. But when I was in primary school, don't know my exact grade, but I think it was like 1996, 1995. Oh, I'm getting my washing cars mixed up. Yep, they don't belong there, do they? This is where I need my coloured baskets. Now I'm all over the place. Be more organised next time, Joe. A television company approached the school I went to, and they asked would they like to take part in a game show for children. I thought it was awesome. These schools, I think we had to apply, or you had to put your hand up if you were interested, and then I think like the students voted or something. I threw my hand up. My peers, students, class grade, I can't remember what it was, they all voted, and guess who got to go on a game show? I think I was like 12, 10, I don't know the exact details. I actually have the footage of it. So anyway, the game show was called Challenger. I don't know if you remember it, and if you piles again, got them all confused. If you were an 80s, 90s baby, you may remember there was like all these game shows, amazing, that children would be on, and I can't think of any off the top of my head. Well, this one here was on Channel 9, and the TV show was called Challenger, and our school got offered to go onto it. I got given a place, and I went on the game show. And I remember doing the game show. I remember the section I got up to, and I had a bit of like a, probably call it a fail now. I had a really embarrassing moment, and I remember we had done all the filming. Oh, sorry, cat. It's flying in the basket. We had done all the filming. It was lots of fun. Our team won. I won 4 CDs. One of them was Mariah Carey Honey album. It was an album, so if that kind of helps date to when the game show was on. I got to get the t-shirt I played in as well. Unfortunately, sorry Banks, I've got more folding going in there. Unfortunately, I can't remember where the t-shirt is. I thought I kept it. Maybe I have thrown it out in years gone by, which is a real shame. I was really hoping I had kept that shirt, because I keep a lot of memorabilia throughout my childhood, as you do. What was I up to? So I remember the filming got done, came home, told my parents all about it, and I'm like, oh, I fell over on, I think I called it like stage, I fell over on the set. Excuse me. So Challenger, you had to go through and do like, kind of like a maze or like a challenge, get to the end, answer some questions in a certain time frame, and you got points for your team. Well, the one I done, and I don't know if I've got any followers on here, I think I do actually, that went to school with me, may remember this, primary school. I do know some of you guys do watch this. What was I saying? That's that one pile over there. There was a section where I had to like swing on, they were kind of like monkey bars on the ground, so your feet were on them and they kind of just like swung around. And I was like, yes, I can do this. When I'm determined to do something, I actually get like in the zone. I'm gonna do it. And I think I was a little bit too committed and stood on one and completely face planted to the ground. I stood up and I was like, oh, it's fine, it's all good. Answer the questions, we won. I was happy, went about my day. Went home, told my parents about it, told them what ended up happening to me. Would you believe, so this is like in the day where you had to wait for them to edit it, and then I think the broadcasting company told the school, and the school told the families when your episode was going to be aired on TV. And I think we found out like a week in advance when it was going to be aired. So I think we were sitting up one morning at like 7 a.m. ready to watch this game show that I was on. I came on TV. It was like really cool and exciting. They didn't edit out the part where the cameras literally watched me swing and smack down, face plant into the ground, get up. Then they went to a commercial break. And I do have, so back in the day when you know something's coming on TV, you'd get the VCR play record. So we actually filmed it on the VCR tape. I've got it. I've actually got it in one of our, I call it one of my memory boxes. So I've actually got it, but I need to convert it across now to like a DVD or something where we can actually watch it, because no one has VCRs anymore. No one in our family has VCRs. My husband's never seen the footage. My parents and my sister have seen the footage, and they've only described how embarrassing it was. I don't think it was really embarrassing then, but when someone says, oh, you face planted to the ground, it was pretty epic the way I face planted to the ground. So I have been on TV before. I think I'm covering my cat in clothes. He's just laying in that basket down the end. I think he's just enjoying the affection. Can you hear her snoring? So I have been on TV. I have gotten my, is it the 30 seconds of fame they call it? But I could have gotten more. So when I was, and I don't actually know the full details, I've never asked my parents how did this like come about, but when I was probably about 4 or 5, however it worked about, whether my mum saw an ad or someone tapped us on the shoulder, I don't know. I should probably ask my parents how it all came about. I actually, my sister and I, we went to audition for an agency. Yeah, right part there. Audition for an agency to do, I don't know, promotional work or work for them or apply for like a TV show. And would you believe I got picked? They chose me. They wanted to use me. They wanted to hire me or give me a contract to, I think it was do 2 ads for them. Again, I was like 4 or 5 at the time. And the ads, I can remember one of them. It was for a company, I think it was called Allgas or Algas. And they were promoting like, I think it was their hot water systems or something. So I can't remember the scene I was doing, but that was the company it was for. The other company I cannot remember. And in the contract, I think there was more work to come and possibility of making on like TV shows such as Home and Away and other really cool things. And you kind of think, wow, that's awesome. Random opportunity falls into your lap. 4-year-old me says, I don't want to do it. So my parents are like, oh my goodness, our daughter's like hit the jackpot. This is awesome, so much fun. They did not pressure me at all. I remember I'm actually quite an introverted person. I think I may have mentioned that before. And when I was a little child, I was always very much, my mummy needs to be in my sight. I didn't like the unfamiliar environments. I didn't like unfamiliar people. It made me very aware that it was unknown territory for me, I think you could say. And my son's a little bit similar. He gets very, where are we? What are we doing? This is not normal until he warms up to it. But I don't know how long. I think I had to go back a second time for the casting, and they said, yes, we're going to offer you a contract. And Mum and Dad said, you need to go up onto the set, I don't know, and say something or do a line or act out the scene. And they said, oh, we're just going to sit back here and watch. And I went, no, I want to go with you. And I think they sort of not negotiated and forced me, because my parents were like, if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. It was just something we thought would pop along and see if you kids were interested. But I just remember being like, I don't want to do this. And my parents were like, that's fine. This is what you could do with it. And I just went, nope, let's go home. So, guys, I could have been the face of Home and Away. I could have been Sally on Home and Away. Never really watched Home and Away growing up. My parents didn't like us watching that kind of shows. And Sally was on that show, I think, from like the 1970s, 1980s, I don't know. But there you go. So I actually had an opportunity, potentially, to have had a very different career, a very different life ahead. And I turned around and just went, I don't want to do it. I want to go home. And that's exactly what my parents done. They said, okay, if you don't want to do it, that's fine. And they just took us home. No one in my family has done acting. No one in my family has ever done that line of work before. So it wasn't like well, everyone else does it. You just sort of naturally go into it. But then when I was in grade, so that's the story about my fame, my lack of fame, my opportunity that went out the window at 4 years old, and I said I want to go home, even though I could have bought every single Barbie doll in the store that I could ever dreamed of wanting. I didn't want to do that. I mean, that's a conversation my parents had. You could buy every Barbie doll that you ever wanted to. And I was like, no, I'm not interested. But funnily enough, I think I was in grade 11 or 12. And I didn't love high school. I felt awkward in it. It wasn't really a vibe for me. I just wanted to finish it and graduate and then just get on with life, to be honest. I had challenges with other girls picking on me. I had a really nice circle of friends, but just didn't really feel like I fitted in. But I knew school was kind of important. I didn't really excel in English. I still don't excel in English to this day, just never been a strong point of mine. But I ended up doing, and I thought I was doing it for fun and a bit of laziness. I did do my exams to go to uni and all that kind of stuff. Ended up going to uni and actually had a really good career in a totally different field. But while at school, one of the subjects I think which was part of, I can't even remember what it was called when I was at school, to do my QCS exams was actually drama. And I'm like, oh, awesome, I'll just do drama. I can just like totally bum around, act and pretend, and it's all good. And then we had to do, one of our assessments was to do Macbeth. We had to act out a scene from Shakespeare, and I chose Macbeth and I acted out a scene from there. I got A+ for it. My teacher actually came up, I can't remember her name, and again, if you went to my high school and you watch me now, you might remember the teacher. She was a little tiny little lady, a little bit quirky, as most drama teachers are, they're a little bit quirky, and she came up and she said, you could be an actor. And I think she showed me some pamphlets for some acting classes outside of school, and I done the same thing. I was like, no, not interested, not interested at all. And she's like, you are absolutely amazing at acting and behind the scenes. And I just went, not interested, don't want to do it. So there you go, that's my little story on past life. The job I actually ended up doing and the uni degree I ended up doing had absolutely nothing to do with acting. I can't wait till I don't have to wash face masks anymore and change filters in them and all that sort of stuff. Just thought I'd put that in there. But yeah, my career path did not end up anywhere at all to do with acting or drama. And like I said, I'm actually a very introverted person. Maybe that's why I like talking to a camera. But I actually do quite well talking in large conferences and that sort of thing. And the job I ended up doing, my career, actually saw me talking to a lot of people and helping them and mentoring them through and working in environments that I probably never thought I would end up in. Now, I do know there was a question from my last one of these videos, and someone was actually asking me what I used to do before I was full-time mum. I think I need to retie my hair up. So I did go to uni. I didn't go to uni straight out of high school. Would you believe the uni degree I wanted to get into, I didn't have the right grades. So I ended up working full-time. I'm doing the sock matching game now. I ended up working full-time, really didn't enjoy it. And I remember coming home one day and I had a terrible boss. She was picking on me. Sorry, my SIM card just got full. I remember my dad said to me, get on the phone and call the uni. So I was like, okay. So I called the uni. They accepted me on the spot to get into a degree. Now, before I went to uni, I actually had done 2 diplomas through TAFE, and they were just through like business, a quite generic diploma. Found a degree I wanted to do, and it was a 4-year degree. I done it in 3. So full-time uni is 4 subjects. I was doing 5 subjects. I was doing summer school, which is Monday to Friday, intense for like 3-4 weeks getting subjects done. I finished my uni degree early. I worked in some amazing companies, amazing fields, amazing opportunities. I actually studied behavioural science, but also came out, so my degree was a bit sort of unusual. Don't stand on the washing. You will knock it over, Binks. This is why I need my baskets. This is why I need my baskets. That's okay. I can't get mad at him. Technically, it's my ear. I could have just pushed him off, you know. So yeah, I ended up, so my double major put me into human resource management and occupational health and safety. I have worked on, I've now got this mismatching socks, I'm just going to start pairing up now. I have worked on mine sites. I have worked on some of the most high profile projects in Australia. I have dealt with all sorts of trauma. I've worked overseas on projects. I used to do fly in, fly out projects overseas. I've worked in countries that don't even speak English, working with the locals and getting them into the workforce. The last couple of jobs before I ended up going on maternity leave, I was working in the banking sector, and we were looking at like your robberies, the psychosocial impacts and that sort of thing. So I've had a really broad career and job. My biggest highlight was working overseas on some of the very small islands, working on some very high-profile projects with the government. And when it came around to having children, we always planned on me staying home to be with the children. Just something we wanted to do. We just wanted to have someone home to be with the kids until they started school. We were lucky enough that we were able to do that from previous purchases we had done when we were younger. It put us in a position where we could have one person off looking after the children until they go to school. But I think I hit a career highlight, and I think I kind of finished it on a high. And my husband and I have been talking about, when the kids do go back to school, what am I going to do? And I'm like, well, it depends if my YouTube takes off, where I can continue it and continue to share things and talk to you and provide updates and cleaning hacks and home renovations and all that kind of stuff. Or will it get to a point where I'll need to go back to work? And I was thinking about it earlier on around how I'm going to get a job that may have more school-friendly hours, because I would like to be able to pick the kids up from school, drop them off at school, and not do like before and after school care. Both my parents still work full-time, and my husband's parents actually live in another state. That makes it quite challenging. And I was looking at something like a reception job, to be honest. Just a reception job where I can rock up at 10 and finish at 2, but then I thought I'd actually probably find that quite boring. So I'd probably end up going back into the field I was in, not doing like FIFO work and being the level I used to be at. I'd probably be doing more like a consulting based sort of a job, working from home, running my own business, getting back into consulting and providing assistance to companies that need help in regards to occupational safety, behavioural-based safety, human resource management, legal assistance in regards to industrial relations and that sort of thing. So that's the past for me, but maybe it will become my future again, who knows. But I guess I'm sharing it because I don't really open up a lot around my personal life. I got that asked a couple of times around what work did you do? Why did you start YouTube? I have talked about why I started YouTube, and it was purely, me starting YouTube was purely because when I was doing my Instagram page, which I still have and I still really enjoy doing it, and I do try and get on there as much as I can, almost daily, I couldn't really save the information anywhere. And then I thought, well, YouTube, it's literally a video, so you could go back and watch it, whereas the Instagram stories finish after 24 hours. I can only put like a post up with so much information where I can sit down and do like a 20-30 minute video and give you really good quality content. So that's where the YouTube channel came from. It's starting to get like a really nice community there. You guys seem to be really enjoying it, and I'm actually finding it really enjoyable too. Sharing things with you. I love hearing from mums who've got older children and their experiences, or people who are trying to work on budgets and that sort of thing. I don't have a lot of expertise in like the finance sector, but I have definitely learnt how to budget. We have one income. We work our way through very smartly on how we spend our money, when we spend our money. And you'd see in like my grocery haul videos, it's not just I'm doing these grocery hauls, I'm trying to give tips along the way, which I try and do in all my videos, apart from these ones. These ones are kind of like I think that's in the last one, these ones are like a chit chat, kind of like a podcast where we just sit down and chat and have a talk. And today's one was me just probably opening up a little bit more about me. Probably keen to know if any of you guys in this community, I don't call you subscribers or followers, I feel like it's a bit of a culty kind of a word. It's a lovely community because sometimes you guys give really good information that even I don't know about, and I find that really beneficial. But I would love to know more about the community, the Her Ordinary Mum community here on YouTube. I would love to know something about you, a random fact. Your favourite food is chocolate, or you hate exercise, or I never finished my uni degree, or I started my uni degree when I was 40, or I love to paint. I'd just like to know something about you a bit more, a bit detailed, so I think we can connect a bit more through what do they call the screen and the social media world now. But that is my update, that is my story. That's a little bit of history from way back in the day when I was a little tiny girl to probably in the past 5-6 years of me professionally. My washing is done. No idea what I was talking for. I didn't have that much to do tonight, so I'm actually going to enjoy, I don't know what my cat is doing, there must be a fly in here. I'm going to finish my cup of tea. I'm going to put all this washing on the dining table, so tomorrow morning I have to put it away because my kids want me to have breakfast. I hope you enjoyed this chit chat with me. I do know you guys are enjoying them because you say in the comments, and that makes me really happy. For me, it's the evening, so have a lovely evening and we will talk soon. Bye.